Yes, please. Over to you.
Yeah, shall I begin, ma'am?
Yes, definitely. No, the
Ma'am, ma'am,
let the
our
anchors
anchors
in.
will invite you. Vidhi and Pratyasha, please start. Vidhi, you are not audible.
Ma'am, audible.
Now, yes.
Albert Einstein says, and I quote, strive not to be a success, but rather of value. Good afternoon and a hearty welcome to everyone joining today's workshop. We've already successfully completed 2 weeks, and today marks the beginning of the final week. We would like to thank everyone who has been joining us for all this time. I, Vidhi, along with my co-host Pratyasha, feel privileged to welcome you for the workshop convened by a Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray on value addition, life skills, ethics, and human values. Today's workshop, like every other one, will consist of intellectual discussion by our guest speaker and then followed by a question answer session. Last week, that is on the 21st, we were fortunate to hear from Dr. Mala Tandon. She shared her knowledge of ethical codes and its importance in the work environment. It was an insightful and enriching session.
Before beginning the session, I would like to introduce Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray, the wind beneath our wings and the esteemed director of Amity School of Languages, without whom this workshop wouldn't have been possible. With a Cambridge Honours degree from Lady Shri Ram College, Delhi University, and a remarkable PhD thesis on Anglo-Indian nationalist poet Henry Louis Vivien de Rosio, she received the Best Thesis Award. She has 48 years of teaching experience and is also a founding member of the school. Her anthology, Breathe Free, Flow Free, challenges literary narratives through poems. We are privileged to have her as our inspiration. Let's warmly welcome Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
I'm so delighted to share this platform with all the participants, and I'm so grateful to Dr. Neerja Pandey for having spared her precious time for all of us. So, without further delay, I would hand over to the compare so that we can hear her precious words. Thank you so much, Dr. Pandey.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Emotions are what makes us human. But when we are unable to control our emotions, it can lead to stress. Stress is a mentally draining state. Being stressed hinders us from living our life peacefully. In student life, there are many factors that causes stress, but we should also know the steps to manage stress. In today's workshop, our guest speaker will discuss on the topic of emotion and stress.
Let me introduce our speaker for today. Dr. Nirja Pandey is the Assistant Professor of Psychology in Amity Institute of Behavioral Science, Amity University, Lucknow campus. She has done her postgraduate diploma in transpersonal regression therapy from TASSO International, Netherlands. She is the author of the book The Handbook of Developmental Disabilities and Rehabilitations. She is a certified cognitive behavioral therapist and is trained in psychological counseling, intellectual assessments, specific learning disabilities, behavioral management techniques, autism, past life regression, and transpersonal regression therapy. She takes sessions on various psychological topics like mastering the mind, study smarter, sexuality, depression versus sadness, parenting, metaphysics of diseases, mental health, suicide prevention, and many more.
We advise you to be attentive throughout this insightful session. Towards the end of the session, all the participants will be required to mail answers to a few questions based on the talk. Only after the submission of the assignment will you be eligible to receive the certificate of participation. All the best. We are extremely privileged to attend a session with Neeja Pandey. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Shall I begin now? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. So because now I'm able to see only my screen. So if there is any issues, let me know. So stress management means that you have stress first and then learn to manage. For me personally, this doesn't sound good. Why have stress in the first place? And then put your energies in learning to manage it. But because I have to talk about general stress now, so I'll very fast go through the traditional patterns of stress, what the media says, what the books have, and what generally people understand by stress. Then my focus would be on the methods and techniques with which we can develop in our lives as a skill, and so that we don't have to focus on management, rather not have stress in the first place. So when somebody is stressed, this becomes the face. I'm not good to look at. This is how I'm going to present my lecture. Explanation, symptoms, techniques, types, causes, and then finally management. Now, what is stress? It is a normal physical response to events that make us feel threatened. That means there is a basic survival instinct every organism has. So is true for humans also. So before I talk about stress, let us go one step back, which is called emotion. So emotions are basically our reaction, and that is what makes us humans. And in that, when there is a dangerous situation, then the brain goes into active mode so that the organism can survive. And what happens is certain hormones are released. These hormones, neurochemicals, they give us extra energy. Why do we need this extra energy? So that we can either fight the dangerous situation or we can run away from the situation. Fight, flight. That is what is the term given to it. Fight and flight. Many a times when we are constantly giving messages that there is danger, but we are neither fighting the situation nor are we running away from the situation, then the third condition arises, which is called freeze. Fight, flight, and freeze. Freeze is basically, in pure terms, common parlance, is depression. Means helplessness. I'm not able to do anything. But having said this much, stress itself is not bad. There is something called good stress. This I have just explained. Fight and flight. These are certain symptoms which generally we experience. I am not going to focus on these terminologies because this information is available in plenty. Pulse rate goes high, sweating, anxiety, depression, inability to concentrate, poor judgment, anxious, constantly racing thoughts in our mind, short temperament, aches and pains, blood pressure goes either very high or very low, muscle tension, zoning out in front of the TV, sleeping too much, sleeping very less, eating too much, eating very less. For different people, there are different symptoms. Alcohol, cigarette, sometimes tea and coffee also. Then moodiness, forgetfulness, And the list continues. But these are the techniques. Yoga hai, meditation. When I'm talking about yoga, I do not mean simply body postures. That is basically physical exercise. You can go to the gym, you can do exercises, you can walk around, jog around, jump around, whatever. Yoga is basically the combination of breath work, that is pranayam, and the body postures. So you do pranayam, you do postures, you make postures, but in combination with how you breathe in, how you breathe out. That is yoga, what I'm explaining here. Now, coming to meditation. Meditation is again a very overused word. Every second person talks about meditation, but what exactly is meditation? Now, meditation is not something that anybody can teach anyone. Meditation is basically the experience we get when we are focusing on the present moment, right here, right now, which is your breath, which can be a word, which can be focusing on a light or whatever. Meditation and the experience of meditation is the result of that practice. Gym, walking, jogging, a lot of things people are doing. Despite knowing all of this, despite doing all of this, why people are stressed? Why these methods, these techniques are not helping people do away with their stress and stress symptoms? That is a question we need to ponder in detail. So, let us understand. Stress need not be a bad thing. Many times stress is good. One is no stress. Something has happened in America. The news was talking about something. There is no effect on us. Eustress is the good stress. Distress is the bad stress. So what is eustress? Eustress, or the good stress, is a moderate level of anxiety wherein we prepare ourselves to face or to perform whatever we need to. Say, for example, if I had to give this presentation today, so I made sure to check that my presentation is okay. Went through it, okay, I know I can speak, and I was 2 minutes early. I was just trying to see कि कहीं कुछ गड़बड़ तो नहीं हो रही. Am I able to log in? Am I able to do everything whatever is required? So I was ready to start the presentation. Same way when you have your exams, and 1 day before, 10 days before your exam, you are preparing yourself. You are doing away with all your fun activities. You are not getting involved with the parties, with watching movies, whatever. What are you doing? You are preparing for your exams. When you have to give a performance, basically, eustress is that part of it, part of us, which propels us, which motivates us to put our best foot forward, give our best performance. That is called eustress, right? Generally, what I'm hearing around nowadays is, oh, there is a stress, there is a stress. Stress is, I mean, as if it is not something, it is not a game. It was not something like you left, right, center, we are saying, array stress ho gaya. No. But the only difference is when you are moderately stressed, when there is eustress, which is a good stress, the body symptoms are same. Sleeplessness, breathlessness, not very severe, normal, little anxiety, maybe sweating also. Understand, when we go to a discotheque or we are dancing on the floor, similar reactions come in the body, similar symptoms we have. Very high breathlessness, lot of sweating, eyes bulging out, body temperature goes high, but we do not rush to the hospital, we do not seek help, we do not go to the doctor. Oh, my body is into too much of high temperature, too much of sweating, too much of this, too much of that. Because we understand that because of the activity of dancing or whatever, we are excited, because of that, these body symptoms are happening. Similarly, when we are eustressed, means when we are working towards something, when we are practicing, we are rehearsing, then also these things happen. We need not get anxious about it. Okay? Then, the stress means whenever we need this extra energy, once that situation is over, then the brain, the neurochemicals, the release of neurochemicals in the brain comes down to normal. That means the release of the hormones, they stop. That means the body comes back to the equilibrium, a normal balanced position. Then, whenever there are certain situations which are little more stressful, we know how to cope up with them. But the problem comes when we are not able to cope up, when the constant message, the constant stress is carried over a period of time. Then that gets converted into distress. Long, uninterrupted, unmanageable, persistent, and unrelenting stress. That means the enzymes are continuously being secreted in the brain to give us extra energy to deal with the situation which is stressful to the organism. But that extra energy is not being used. Then the distress will take over. When our coping mechanism fails, when our mind and the body pay, then when this is happening, then the mind and the body pay a price for constantly running in emergency mode. Now the question is, what is this emergency mode and why it is happening? So what is a stressful to one person need not be stressful to another person. Say for example, uh, children studying in the same class, and then the class is divided. Few students go to one section and other go to the B section or whatever the section is. Majority of the students are okay, but few would be very disturbed. So much so that they go into anxiety. Their parents come to school. A lot of things happen. A lot of us have gone through this experience. Why this was stressful to a few students, but not to the majority? Because our handling, our coping mechanisms, and there are few more things, I will come to that, which is different. This distress is being referred to as stress. So because stress is the word, so I will use stress, but know it, understand it, that we are talking about distress, not stress per se. Causes or the stresses. It happens because of the body, it happens because of the thoughts, and it happens because of the emotions. So I'm starting with the body. How? Our body is creating stress for us. The basic needs of the body. Sleep at night. We humans are basically day creatures. That means our circadian rhythm is as per the sunrise and sunset. Basically, हम निशाचर नहीं हैं biologically. But for some reason, when we develop the habit of waking up through the night, then the body and the body systems go haywire. And that creates distress in the body, because that is a situation which for the mind and the brain and the body is not a normal situation. So what is not normal? The body, the organism has to come out of it. So what will help the organism to come out of that unnatural situation? Extra enzymes, extra power, extra energy, and fight the situation and come out of it. Pure survival mechanism. And also, when for whatever the reason we cut short our sleep, then something is called sleep deficit. That means the body will make up for the lost sleep during the weekends if you allow yourself to sleep. Otherwise, what we generally see, the moment 5-10 minutes somebody is sitting very quietly, you go off to sleep. You feel sleepy, you feel lethargic. Why this is happening? Because of the sleep pattern which has been disturbed. When we sleep, during sleep, our brain and our body, all the internal organs, they rejuvenate themselves. Wear and tear पे body काम करती है, and that is why sleep is required, and a continuous long stretch sleep is required so that the body can come back to the original self, rejuvenate itself. And when we are not allowing the body and the internal organs to rejuvenate, then that becomes a stressful situation for the body. And the body starts sending signal to the brain that there is problem. Then coming to the oxygen part. The brain is surviving. The brain needs as nutrition only and only oxygen. And the oxygen is supplied to the brain through the blood system, circulatory system, right? So when we have a sedentary lifestyle, when we don't run around, walk around, and when we do not do pranayam, deep breathing, then also the supply of the oxygen is cut short. And then the nutrition which is required for the brain to be active and energetic, that is missing. So need to focus on the supply of oxygen also, whatever it takes, either pranayam, pure pranayam, breathing in, breathing out, or walking, running, jogging, all of those things. Next, the basic requirement of the body is water, pure, unadulterated water. If through the day, especially during summers, we are not able to drink 3 liters to 4 liters of water, there is something wrong. And then the craving begins. And whenever there is craving in the body, we tend to eat whatever is not required by the body, whatever is not good for the body. Binge eating, unnecessary carbs we eat, but what the body needs, that we do not give to the body. And then again, the whole system goes haywire and in survival mode. And again, the message goes to the brain, there is problem, there is danger. And the whole activity begins. Nutrition. I don't think I need to talk much about nutrition. We eat as per the nose, what the smell, what is the nose telling us, what the tongue is telling us, but we don't eat what is required. This is a habit we need to develop. The sooner the better. So this is the body. Because of the body, we have distress. In common parlance, stress. Now the emotions. Emotions are basically reaction to different people, reaction to different events. It is necessary for our survival. It is necessary for our relationships. And as there is a swing in our emotions, so we have hormones imbalance. Vice versa, when the hormones are imbalanced, then also we have mood swings. We get irritated, we get angry, we get anxious, we get a lot of things. Not necessarily because there is outside something, not necessarily because there is danger in life or whatever, only purely because the hormones in the brain, the hormones in the body, they are not in balance, that is. And so these mood swings happen, and if we are not working on them, then the intensity is very high. And once the intensity is very high, it becomes very difficult to manage the emotional upheavals. Then, of course, general health conditions, chronic ailments. When we are living on medicines, we eat a lot of medicines, the side effect of those medicines. When we have chronic pain, the side effect of pain. When we have some illness, like for example, diabetes, blood pressure, thyroid, something else, then also we are stressed, then also the body is stressed, and when the body is stressed, that influences our emotions. Now, what are the sources of emotions? Why so many emotions through the day, through the week we go through? What is happening here? Let us understand that. Mind. There is a constant chatter going on in the mind, which we call monkey mind. 24 into 7 means even when we are sleeping, we are not having a healthy, uninterrupted sleep. We see dreams, and the thoughts through the day that we have, that come into our dream, and we are disturbed. What is the content of the self-talk? Constantly we are talking to ourselves, constantly we are going into different directions, constantly we are visualizing a lot of things. This is how our mind is functioning. Now, this functioning of the mind, the constant chatter in the mind, we call conditioning. Conditioning is as in social conditioning, that is S, economical conditioning, educational conditioning, and religious. That means we have learned to think so many things, we have been told so many things, then we have bombarded ourselves with so much of information, so many beliefs that those beliefs, those thoughts become the habit, and we are constantly thinking like that. And as a result, what is happening? The kind of thoughts that we have, I'm not going to use the words positive or negative, thoughts are simply thoughts. The thoughts we have, they create corresponding emotions in us. I think, oh, my life has become very chaotic. Oh, my life is very unjust. The life has been not good to me. Now, this is what I'm thinking. I have been victimized. So, what will be the emotion? Helplessness, anger, irritation, out of control. And when these emotions are there in me, what is happening? My energy levels. I feel lethargy. I feel like sleeping. I feel like crying. I'm not interested in life. I'm not interested in doing anything. There is no motivation in my life, and the impact is on the body. So that means 98% of diseases, the cause of these diseases is our thoughts. Not single thought, thought patterns, the constant chatter, the vicious cycle of thoughts that keeps going on in our mind. This is how the flow is: thoughts, emotions, and the body. Because body is the doer and body receives the impact of thoughts and emotions. Here is the sources of thoughts: social conditioning, economical conditioning, educational conditioning, and religious. Conditioning means habit. We become good in what we practice. So, if I practice, oh, my life is beautiful, I am on top of the world, and I do it with a smile. This is what I practice. So, general energy level that I have, that you experience, would be high energy, happy go lucky, and smiling. If I practice, too many problems are there, always complaining. So I will have a constipated face. My energy level will be always irritated and anxious and whatnot. And that is how my behavior would be. And that is how I would be interacting with my environment, with people around me. And that is how people are going to experience me. अरे ये तो बड़ी सर चढ़ी है, नक चढ़ी है, this is she's always complaining, always bitching, always backbiting, always crying and cribbing and continue. All right. So it is up to us. We decide how we are going to live the day. Every day, every morning, I decide how this day today is going to be for me. I want to be angry. I choose to be happy. What? People are not going to influence me. I am going to influence myself, especially my emotions. And if I'm not able to, if something disturbs me, it's better to just take a breather, deep breath, and focus what has disturbed me. That will give us a lot of solutions. Here. Now the habit. How does the mind function? Everybody has a mind. All humans have a mind, and everybody's minds, they think. Mind का काम ही होता है सोचना. Thoughtlessness, no thinking is not the solution. A straight line is dead body. All right, death. So the spikes, the waves would be there, thoughts will happen, but we need to understand what are the thoughts that are there constantly, regularly in our mind. What is the mind thinking on a regular basis? We think negatively. Say, for example, just give me a minute. I had a friendship for 1 year with someone. Now, one day we fight and we break up. Now, I'm very angry with my friend. I am not on talking terms with my friend. 1 year of time spent together, the happy moments that we spent, the laughter we shared, everything is forgotten. That one event when we fought. And because we fought, we said a lot of things, and that is something that we remember all our lives. But we forget the good moments, the good times spent together. This is how everybody's mind is functioning. We are holding on to the negatives, not letting go. Worry for future. कल को क्या होगा, ऐसा हो गया तो वैसा हो गया तो क्या होगा. Constant reliving the past, 2 years back, 10 years back, this person, that fellow, and we are reliving it. Generalize. Two students, say for example, 2 students or maybe 4 students, they misbehave, they do something, and the complete class gets the label. अरे ये जो क्लास है ना, ये सब बड़े ऐसे हैं. One boy had ditched me, and all boys are, bleep, bleep, bleep. All, the vibes are like this. All this particular group, people of this community, people of this land, we are into generalization. And the more we generalize, the more we hate being generalized. Because we are passing comments, we are judging people, so we don't like to be judged. So this is the telltale sign of what is happening in our minds. We are very good at predictions. We know everything. I know everything. My mind knows everything. So we predict future, which is based on the past events. It's no use talking to this fellow. I know this fellow is going to speak up like this. I know this is how he is going to react. I know this because in the past something had happened. But the past is over, and constantly we are growing and evolving. But still we want to predict. And after the prediction, we want to make it true. देखा मैंने कहा था ना ऐसा हुआ था. So we start manifesting. This is the content of the constant thoughts, vicious cycle of thoughts in our mind. How to control it, how to handle it, what to do. Control is not the right word. On a constant basis, on a regular basis, we cannot keep on checking the thoughts. What am I thinking now? What am I thinking now? Oh, what am I thinking now? We will go mad. We won't be able to live the daily life. So focus on the feelings. How am I feeling? I am not feeling good. I am feeling good. So the moment you feel that you are not good, अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. So do whatever it takes to shift the emotion from not feeling good to feel good. Now this constant practice will bring the positive changes that we so desire. Happiness. We create all of that within us by constantly shifting from not feel good to feel good. How to do that? The question is how to do that. So best is use the 5 sense organs that we have. What is pleasing to the eyes? Look at 5 things which give pleasure, which is bring a spontaneous smile, which give you happiness, which are pleasant. Smell. बहुत अच्छी खुशबू आ रही है. Sound. Not the brass music, soft, soothing music. Or you can sing on your own if you are a singer. Tongue. I'm not talking about eating nonsense food, but like something very light, which instantly gives you मजा आ गया, अच्छा लगा. Skin. Skin is the largest organ that we have. So we can use the skin like for taking a hot water bath, or simply bath, or going for body massage, or something like that. Basically, we are indulging in our sense organs. One. Third is living in the present. When I'm talking to you, I am 100% focusing here. When I'm eating, I have to focus on the taste of each item I'm eating, chewing and feeling it, knowing it. Oh, this is what I'm eating. When I'm looking at something, when I'm walking on the road, I'm looking around, I'm present. Oh, this is a bird. I saw a beautiful bird today. Oh, this is a flower which was not there yesterday. Oh, look at this plant. Oh, this plant has been cut. So we are focused. This is called mindfulness. Be mindfulness of your surroundings. And finally, breath. Take a deep breath, you are back in the body. Because breath is the only thing which is right here, right now, in the present moment. Breathing is not in the past, breathing is not in the future. Oh, tomorrow I have got lot of work to do, so let me store some oxygen. No, body doesn't store oxygen. Body will store water, body will store food, but not oxygen. And oxygen is the vital element that you need. So the moment you are breathing, deep breath, fill your lungs and focus there. That is your living in the present. So the more you practice this, the better you are, and you are away from stress. Because when you are not stressed, then whatever the situation comes up, you are in a better position to understand different aspects of that situation and come to a solution. But when there is chaos here in the upper department in your mind, so many thoughts, so many emotions, then the focus is lost. Then you do not know what to do. समझ में कुछ नहीं होता है, दिमाग की दही जम जाती है शुद्ध भाषा में. Right. Now that all these techniques, you do not have to use everything. You should just know that there are so many methods, and you choose one or two methods which you can do in your daily life. One. Secondly, every method is not applicable to every person. It will depend on different people, their background, their lifestyle, their thought patterns, their belief systems. Finally, techniques are plenty. Why they are not working? Because of the willingness. There are people who are very good in feeling sad. They feel this has become a comfort zone for them. To remain complaining, to remain sad. They don't want help. They simply want to speak up. Nothing else. You give them suggestions. I know, but I know, but every time there is a but in a single deal. So what to do? That means if you really want to bring about a change, you simply need to act on it. Practice, behavior, action. So what you are practicing, only that is going to bring changes. Knowing is not helping you. Having information, क्या करना है? Internet तो भर भर के पड़ा हुआ है. Still people are stressed. Still people are anxious. Despite having an overload of information, why the problems are not getting solved? Simply because there is difference between knowing and between practicing. So what you practice, you become good in that. So pick up one technique, one method, which you can use on a daily, regular basis as per your daily schedule, and start practicing. That is how the stress would be minimum. There are some more techniques. I don't have to explain too much into this. Diet, because the body needs it. All the major benchmarks, they have to be maintained. Biggest problem, weekends. When we cramp up a lot of activities during the weekends, so much so that Monday becomes like very tiring. The Monday blues. Why do we have to go through Monday blues when we can use our weekends to relax? When we can use Saturday to finish off the pending work and Sunday to sleep, or vice versa, whatever is working for somebody. But let us use weekends just to relax and to interact with people and spend time with family. 10 minutes of reading, not more than that. Or if somebody is okay, then 1 hour or 2 hours, but whatever is manageable, because the reading should not lead to compromise with sleep. One. Secondly, too much strain on the eyes. As it is, we have lot of screen time nowadays, which is putting a lot of pressure on our eyes. So we have to have a balance of everything. So if 10 minutes is feasible or one chapter is feasible, read up that. But that is good because we are getting some information, not simply wasting our time, little amount, small thing, and digesting it completely. Lot of stress I have given to sleep, which is required. Regular exercise, I am not talking about gym. Muscle banana hai, to ye karna hai, to wo karna hai. No. Simple, regular, light exercises, what I am talking about. Every time we are stressed, our body will give us some signal. each one of us has to understand how and when our body is talking to us. At times it is pain. Pain is the language of the body. Body speaks to us through pain. Pain means pay attention in words now. Look at me. Look at me. I want your attention here. So that is one way. Or if there is a weak body part, say for example, some fracture may have happened, or spondylitis which is not there anymore, but had it, or sprain in the ankles, or the back, whatever. So one body part will always be there, which will be activated, which will give you sensations or pain or whatever, tingling, whenever you are stressed. Many times headache, particular headache in one part of the brain, or migraine. So the moment you need to understand when the body is giving you signal and how. So once you are aware of it, then the moment the body gives you signal, now you know, okay, relax, practice, and then think what was stressful to me and why. Then you work on it, whatever it was. Or maybe you need to develop certain skill, work on it, or you need to avoid certain situation, do it. Basically, you get the answers to your queries and problems, and you become solution oriented. Learn to say no. May not be very, we can be polite about it, but yes, we need to say at times, because otherwise we get overburdened by our work as well as the work of other people, and this spoils the relationships also. So might as well be very vocal and communicative. Communication is the crux of relationships. Well, all of these, they mask our symptoms. The problem never goes away. The reason for the stress never goes away. The only thing is we forget about the symptoms, the stress, and when we are out of the influence, the original problem along with few more, and it is multiplied now, and now we do not know what to do. So again we go off to these methods. Basically we learn to escape, basically we learn to avoid, which in the longer run is again going against us. Tea is also an addiction, coffee is also an addiction. So if you are not able to survive without tea or coffee, then this is an addiction. But when you have been working and you need a break, and then you go for a light snack and tea or coffee, or simply just go walk around and come back, these are all techniques of relaxation. Regular walks, yes, definitely. This is for people who are working like me. Instead of calling the peon to transfer the files or something, go yourself. I do it. Whenever I have something to talk about or ask, I go to the office, walk up to them, have a conversation, and I come back. If I need to have a discussion with some faculty, I walk up to the other faculty room, do it, and then I come back. I don't use phone for all the things. Now this is how I have tried to work on my body postures, and also to relax myself, also to give a break to my eyes and the screen time. So it helps a lot. It doesn't mean wasting time or collecting gossip material. I'm not talking about gossip here. What I'm saying is, instead of sitting at one place, start moving around, getting the job done. I have just explained. Remember this idea, mobile and walk and talk? With a disclaimer here. I know of a person who was walking on the top, on the roof, and was on the phone, and he did not, it was night time, and he did not realize that the boundary wall was missing. So he walked, was talking on the phone, and fell and had a fracture. So I don't mean that. I simply mean that while talking to somebody, you can walk up and down. But what I have seen the children doing, they are walking and chatting, means texting, and they are not even aware where they are walking. That is not what I mean. Talking and walking is, yes, okay, but be careful where you are walking. Well, I used to say that Jadoo Ki Chappi is good. Now I say be careful. Jadoo ki chappi with your own family members is okay, but with everyone no, because a lot of infections, lot of things get transferred. So here also, that is the disclaimer. Hugging the children, hugging your own pets, beautiful, but not everyone while greeting. When you greet your friends, handshake, namaste is perfectly fine. Hugging, I would say no. Holding hands with the loved ones, yes. With everyone, not required again, for obvious reasons. Now, this is something I always explain, not my own original idea. I have studied it. 90-10 principle. 10% is something that happens to us, over which we have no control. 90% is dependent on how we react to a situation. I would like to give you an analogy here. There is a man, and whenever I'm giving a story, I'm telling a story, I always say handsome man. So there is this handsome man. He's married, has a small child, and whole night he has prepared his some presentation. And in the morning, he is in hurry to go to his office. So he comes down on the table. His wife gives him breakfast. Then she puts the coffee cup on the table, and the daughter, she's 3 to 4 years old, studies in nursery, and she comes down and puts her bag on the table, and due to that, the coffee spills on his shirt, and he gets very angry. And then the wife comes and they have a small spat why this happened. Then, very angrily, he rushes to his room to change his clothes. When he comes back, he sees that the daughter has her breakfast, and she has missed the school bus, and wife also has to go to her office, and the child's school is on his way, so he has to take the daughter and drop at the school. Now, when he's rushing, going very fast, the police person stops him. He has to give out some money to the police wala. Then he drops the daughter at a school. The daughter doesn't look back because she runs away to the school. He comes late, 15 minutes late to the office. Everybody is waiting for the presentation, and then he realizes that he forgot his laptop at home. This is how the day begins, and he's very upset and he's waiting when the day gets over and I go home. When he comes home in the evening, his wife and daughter, they are not talking to him. There is a wife and dear relationship. This is one scenario. Another day, same situation. He comes down for breakfast. Wife gives him breakfast. Then she puts the coffee cup there. Daughter comes along, has the bag on the table. Coffee spills, and the daughter is a little scared. There are tears in her eyes, and the father, this man, says, "Don't worry, take care next time." He goes up, changes his shirt, comes down. When he comes down, the daughter has finished her breakfast. The bus is waiting. She gives a beautiful smile, says bye to father. He says bye to his wife. Very happily, 5 minutes before time, he reaches his office, and the day begins. So, what is the difference? The difference is reaction. The coffee spilled, it was an accident. It just happened. That was not important. The day was haywire because of the reactions of this person. This is how life is. Say, for example, we get stuck in the traffic. The train is delayed. Or because we have to get another train, and this train is delayed, now that we miss that train. What to do? What generally we do is, I have seen, like getting stuck in the traffic, the people are honking their horns as if they can fly over the traffic and go away. No, they can't. Or they start fighting with the driver, with the conductor, with the steward, with everyone around. What are they gaining out of it? So these things, the everyday life situations, because of that, the way we are reacting also become the stressor of our life. Just observe your own reactions, how you react to people, how you react to events, and how you are creating stress in your life, though there was none. So that is why we need to understand the principle, 90-10 principle. Only 10% is something what is happening. 90 is our own reaction. Observe. Generally, what we do is we are in reaction mode. Somebody is saying, and we are reacting. Somebody is uh, behaving in a certain manner, we are reacting. We simply have to switch from reaction to observation. Start observing. Oh, somebody is doing something. My mom is saying something. No, my mom is shouting at me. No, my mom is doing something. Okay, let me see what is happening. My boss is insulting me. Is one way of looking at it. Okay, my boss is doing something. Okay, let me see. Automatically there will be smile. I have practiced it, so I'm telling you. So observation, when you are into observation, so what happens is you are under control and you do not react in manners for which you feel sorry later on. One. Secondly, when you are in observation mode, now you read people through and through. Now you exactly know what is happening here and how to respond. So you become a responsible person. You learn to respond, not to react. Now, next, listen to your own words, how you express. Yesterday, one person was talking. This person has she has purchased a house on her own. लंबा चौड़ा लोन ले रखा हुआ है. So इस घर ने मेरे को लोन में कर्जे में डुबा दिया है. And she is frustrated. Simple change in perspective. नहीं, मैंने अपने लिए एक और asset create कर लिया है. So now she has two places to live. One, she can put up for rent, and in the other she can live. And this second house, the one she has prepared, is she has made it, constructed it with her own choice. So she would love to go and live there. Go and ship. And where she is living now can go for rent. So the loan can be repaid. So how we talk, how we do the self-talk, listen to your own words because they are an indicator of what you are thinking, and your thoughts are creating the corresponding emotions, and those are creating the stress. Simple connection is there, and that we need to understand. Take control of the environment. If I'm regularly getting stuck in the traffic, I have two options. Either I change my timings or I change the route, my route. This is my control. Or if I have no option, so might as well sit in the car and enjoy the music, enjoy the environment. Very important, this slide. Generally, if you see around, even all of us, majority of us, whenever there's an argument, that becomes an emotional turmoil, emotional catharsis. हमेशा से ऐसा होता आया है. The topic of disagreement gets lost somewhere and emotional outburst takes over. So if you really want to come to a solution, to a conclusion, whenever you are in an argument, keep your emotions away and focus on the content. And if you really are in a very strong emotional state, then simply tell that person, this is what I am feeling, I will discuss it after some time. Generally, when I am angry, the moment somebody is in front of me, I simply tell them, listen, I am very angry. The moment I acknowledge my anger, what have I done? I have taken control of my emotion. Now the anger is not running me around. Anger is not propelling me. I am the one who is acknowledging that, okay, I am angry and I need to process it. Now take time and do it. Do the processing part. Forget. Now, especially with relationships, it doesn't help to have the upper hand. Many a times taking a backseat also is very effective. So keep understanding what is hostility and what is difference of opinion. So when we have difference of opinion, we can be assertive. I agree to disagree with you. I beg to differ from you. Perfectly okay. Okay, this is how you feel. Okay, this is how you think. This is your system, but not mine. It's always better to speak up like that. Name calling, sarcasm, taunting doesn't help. express the feelings. If you are married and you have school-going children, then both the partners, they take responsibility. The children have to be told what time which parent can be contacted, and they can be trained. And both the partners take chances, turns to look after the needs of the children. This I have already explained. This is the position, best position, when we really want to relax. Just 5-10 minutes, good enough. And finally, the stress is also because we don't trust. Though this is the basic nature, we were born with trust. Every child, a newborn baby, few months old baby, if you observe, they trust everyone. जो उनको प्यार करता है, वो उसके पास जाता है. Then as we have grown up, we have lost touch with our own basic nature, the trust. And that is another reason for stress. क्या होगा? I don't know. I am not able to. I am not able to control. I want to control. Blah blah blah. Continue. So it is time to come back, bring back, work again on our basic nature of trust. At least nothing else than trust on yourself. हाथ पैर है, दिमाग है, इंटेलिजेंस है, कुछ ना कुछ तो कर ही लेंगे. Trust in the process of life. Trust in the universe. Trust in God. And now the concept of God is like, again, I'm not going into it, but there is something, the universal force. We can trust that at least. Life is about choices and consequences. What we choose to do, we face the consequence of it. So learn to take responsibility of your own emotional outbursts and behaviors. The problem is we express, we burst out, we behave, we act, but we are not ready to face the music of it. And that is another reason for the so-called stress we are talking about. So start practicing to relax regularly. The stress will not happen. The stressful situation will come. Life is all about ups and downs. The ups and downs will come in life, but you will have firm ground below your feet. And here complete my talk, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you for your wisdomful words, ma'am. The success of a workshop is ensured when there are no doubts left in the minds of the audience. So now the platform is open for question and answers. If anyone has any question, they can either type it in the chat box or raise hand.
Okay. So if there are no questions, then so I assume that people have understood the concept, or
Now I think there are no questions.
no, there is one. What are the mechanisms? Just a minute. Wait a minute. What are the coping mechanisms to regulate emotions during times of heightened stress? The very first thing when you have heightened stress, first is drink water, because the tendency of water is to bring down the body temperature. And the moment your body, that basically what I'm saying is start working with your body. So drinking water is one. Then breath. Take a deep breath. Now what is happening is when the moment you are breathing, you come back in the body. So that height is gone down. Now when it is under control, then you see what has stressed you and why you are so much stressed that you are not able to cope up with. Basically, when the intensity goes down, then you are in a position to understand the situation. So these two things, drinking water and taking a breath, always helps. Many people, what they do is, before reacting, they start counting. They count till 10. And counting means 10 breaths. 1, 2, 3. Now, by default, the focus has shifted from the situation towards yourself. And now, with different perspective, you're looking at the situation. These are the two things you need to do. Practice it basically. Next is, how can we identify and address the specific triggers that lead to stress and emotional distress in our emotional? How can we identify and address? Okay, observe your own behavior on a daily basis. Today at 10 a.m. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, if you are okay with keeping a diary with you, a small pocket diary and a pen, every time you lose control, make a note of it. Monday, 10 a.m. I was angry, and what happened? This is called ABC model. Just before that, when I lost my temper, what had happened? When I lost my temper, what did I do? Then what was the consequence? Just make a note of it and leave it. So like this for 10 days, 15 days, you make a note. Now, after 15 days, when you see your entry, you will get to know a theme, that what are the triggers, what are the situation or maybe people which, because of which you are losing your control. Now that clarity is there with you. Now once the clarity is with you, now you understand what you need to do. Change your company, learn certain skills, avoid certain situations or whatever it is. But right now, because I do not know the situation, I cannot give you a solution. I'm telling you how to understand what is disturbing you, what is triggering you. To keep a track of that, this method is very useful. Have I answered the question? Shafqeen Khan and Pranjal. Okay, I hope so.
Thank you, ma'am. Timely submission of assignment is solicited. Kindly mail your answers by 8 p.m. today, as it will be considered for certificates.
Okay.
As we reach the end of this workshop, I would like to thank Professor Dr. Kumkum Ray and all the other faculty for making this workshop happen. I would like to thank our speaker for sharing her knowledge with us and patiently answering the questions. I would also like to thank the audience for joining us today. Hope you have a productive day ahead.
Thank you.
For tomorrow, the speaker is Dr. Jayanti Srivastava, who will talk about Vedic knowledge. So we look forward for your presence and participation. Thank you.
Thank you.